Hi, this is Inge, coming to you from Ingesknittinglab in Denmark. Welcome to my knitting podcast. Nice to see you. I just recently returned from the knitting festival at Fanø, also called Nordby Wool Days. And actually this was the last one. 18 years of festivals there, and now it's moving to 2. So you can imagine that I have so much to tell you about what I learned and saw at the festival. So all vibrant of new ideas and wonderful and great people I met. So yeah, this festival was a buffet of experiences. There were workshops, very nice music, gatherings, knittings, and the stands or the festival, what do you call it, stands or fairs or booths where you could buy knitting stuff. And yeah, you don't attend a knitting festival without getting something, right? So I definitely did, and also more than is capable of being in this basket, but I will tell you more about it. I met some wonderful women, entrepreneurs, making their businesses within the knitting industry, Danish designers. I will pass on the tips and tricks I got from them. So yeah, there's so much to talk about, so I guess I will divide it into 2 episodes. But what about the knitting then? Have I had time to knit? Yeah. I have finished 2 finished sweaters. If you've seen my former episodes, you will know that I've been knitting on a series of sweaters for my grandson, and 2 are finalized. We will look at those, and I have something on my needles to talk about, and the yarns. So just a practical remark. If you want to go forwards and backwards in the video to the contents of your interest, please do so. Use the small movie clips you can see in the description box. If you want to see one of my other videos, please do so as well, and you can find it in the playlist. Who is knocking? This is my grandson. He promised me to take photos of the sweaters, so let's get started. Hi, Robin. Let's start with an amazing woman I met called Stine. She's a Norwegian living in Denmark, and she has a shop in Copenhagen. She shared with me a touching story of one of her designs. So here it is.
Hi, my name is Stine. I'm born and raised in Norway, but I've been living the latest 42 years in Denmark. In November, I went to an art craft market in Stavanger in Norway. And in Stavanger, I have a very good friend. His name is Håkon, and Håkon is a priest. And Håkon and I, we were kids together. So Håkon says, hey Stine, now when you are in Norway, come to the church and then we go out, have a drink afterward. I need to know how your life is in Denmark. And I came to the church, and it happened to be All Saints' Day. So the 27 families in his congregation who had lost one of their loved ones during the year were invited. And it was so beautiful, and it was all about how can we take care of each other when life is unbearable. In his speech, Håkon said, "Sorrow or grief is like a triangle. It sits in your heart and it turns around and around and around. And every time it turns, it's so painful. And you think, will this ever stop? But every time the triangle turns, it gets squeezed more and more and more. And after a while, the person you lost become a pearl in your heart."
Wow.
And I was thinking, oh, that's a beautiful story. I have to knit this story. So here I've knitted a scarf, and it starts with a triangle, and the triangle gets squeezed more and more and more, and more and more and more, and here you can see a pearl in your heart.
Wow, fantastic. Wasn't that a great story? It caught a tear in my eye, actually. I've had some recent passings in my family, so yeah, I could fully relate to that story. I get emotional right now. That's how I am. Okay. Stine, back to Stine. She is such an amazing woman, and actually I've had my eyes on her designs for a while. I've seen her designs, amazing designs, and I actually bought 2 of them at her stand there at the festival. So we will watch her again, telling her about one of the, could you call it a cardigan, with a special design of hers that she makes on her knitting machine. And she gets the wool from Italy. It's very high quality wool. And you will also see a picture of a jacket that I bought. She will tailor make it for me, took my measurements, and it's knitted and felted actually. But let's hear her story on the jacket.
When I'm knitting, I'm trying to work with the circle. So I have all these stitches here, and I knit here and back and here and back and here and back and here and back and here and back. Then I have a lot of knitting here, very little knitting here. Then I've knitted a circle. This circle is the foundation of very much of what I'm doing, but now I'll show you the one you bought. Then I've taken my circle like this, and I put it up here, and like this. And then I think this is pretty good, but here I have 2 layers of wool, here I have nothing, and here I have too much. So
there's nothing there.
No, not really.
I have knitted this one. Here is the circle, exact the same as the other one.
Yeah.
And then I made some sleeves.
Yeah.
And now I go inside of it like I went inside the rose one. Here is the circle, and then I put it up like this.
It's gorgeous. Such a clever design. Thank you. Yeah, wasn't that a clever design? And I also ordered a red one, a shade a bit different one from the one she's trying on here. But you can see it beside me in the picture. I simply love red colors. Yeah, every bright color actually. So I look forward to this coming to me soon. You probably noticed the other woman standing beside her. This is yet another amazing entrepreneur woman. She's made a jewelry shop in Iceland. She's an Icelandic woman. And besides making very nice jewelry, she has also made this functional jewelry for knitters. And let's hear her story on the jewelry, and then we can unpack mine because I simply needed to have one.
This is a knitting gauge from 2 millimeters to 10.
That is a good idea.
Strikkemole.
Yeah,
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah. And there's a bracelet also. And the thing about this line is that you can attach every chain together to a long chain and make a belt, for instance.
Oh, really?
I'll take it off to show you.
That was a fun idea.
This is just an earring, but this is medical steel, so there's no
Okay.
allergy to it. It's actually a long chain
Yeah?
that you can play with.
Is it only in gold or is it in silver too?
Silver too, yeah.
And what's the price?
It's around 700, the gold one,
Yeah?
and 600.
For the silver thing.
Yeah. You see, this is like many necklaces, because none of them is the same.
That was funny. That
Yeah.
was a new thinking way.
Thank
you.
So, it comes with one pearl, and I
Okay.
started with a pearl, but now I'm getting some new designs with colors, because of course we love colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that smart? So I needed to have one because when I'm knitting, you know, this small wheel I have from KnitPro for gauging my knitting needles is always somehow slipping out of my lap. I can miss things sitting in my lap actually. So I bought one. So let's unpack it together. It comes with it in this small leather bag, and I bought the gauge in silver. It's not in silver actually, it's surgical steel, so it's very durable. There's a small link here, and I also bought earrings to go along, and it's with this natural pearl. Let's see. It says thank you. Thank you for the purchase. Did I mention that her name is Silfa, and I will link her website below. She ships outside of Iceland as well. I was just so lucky that she attended the fair so that I could get one. I hadn't seen them before actually, so I was introduced to this by another lady and say she's at the fair today, so have a look. Yeah, it's a bit crinkly. So here it is. I think it's a very smart way of making a gauge and a nice jewelry. Look at the pearl. And I can unpack here as well. Sorry for the crinkling. So yeah, I don't think I will take it out of the bag, but you can see here. So it will be matchy. And yeah, do I have a knitting needle here? This should be size 3. Let's see. It's both in measurements for the metrics we use in Europe, and it's also in the American measurements. So that's actually also quite functional when you interchange between these. 3.25, 3.5, 3. So it must be up here. Let's see. 3. Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, well, and now I'm trying 2 point. It won't do. So I guess the measurement uncertainty making these holes for gauges of knitting needles is just perfect. I'm so happy with this one. I will use it a lot, I'm sure. Both as a jewelry and hanging here when I'm knitting. yeah, so now I put on the small earrings. It's called My Pearl by Silfa. Silfa is her name. So yeah, if you're interested, as I said, I will link the website address below. Just saying, I'm just amazed about all these entrepreneurial women. It's not like we have a business relationship or anything, or I promote in that way. It's just because I love their products and I want to buy them myself and would like to share it with you. So here you are with the pearl and the pearl. Great, a great functional piece. Let's move on to some actual knitwear and my finished objects. If you have seen one of my former episodes, you would know that I'm designing a series for my grandson who's just started in first kindergarten. So he needs sweaters for every kind of weather outdoor, because he's outdoor every day, all day. And for the time being, now we have 4 sweaters in the stack, and the 2 top ones are finalized since the last video. So let's start with this one. It's made in brioche with a simple raglan and a raised neck. So I wanted this to be a very simple design and be a sweater, so when he's playing outside at the playground and, you know, actually rolling in the mud and doing the, what's called, the slide and whatnot, this piece could endure all this tumbling around. So I had some yarn in the stash, actually a sock yarn. So it's from Jytte, a Danish brand, and it's called stretch sock yarn. So it is superwash merino wool. It's nylon 23% and 8% polyester stretch. So I thought, well, he is moving a lot around and maybe I shouldn't use this for socks, but try to make a sweater instead. Although I'm not fond of man-made fiber in sweaters, so let's see how this will work on him. But yeah, so I guess maybe the detail on this one is the ribbing, where I made a garter ridges and ribbing. Otherwise it's a very simple knit. I talked more about it in the last episode. So he had tried it, and you can see the pictures here of the little man with the sweater. So I'm happy to see actually which of these he likes the best. So he's a very good model, actually. When I asked him kindly if he would like to try it on before, you know, I finish the sleeves for the correct length or whatnot, he says yes, and then we take it off again and taking care of all the needles sticking out. Okay. The second one I also introduced in the last episode. I will show you the picture here again about the tree hugging for grounding and yeah, other good stuff. So this was meant to resemble the tree bark or the tree trunk. So again, a very simple design. It's a 3x1 rib, however this time not a raglan, but I started with short rows in the back or increase stitches here and tried to make the detail here with the sleeve and the increases here under the sleeve, and this time with a turtleneck, so it would be a bit higher. Again, you can see a picture here of the little man wearing the sweater, and this one is sorry, this was a fly. This sweater is definitely warm. It's made by this eco Highland wool, and it's from Viking yarn. And I guess this time you don't even have to look at the label to see that it's a natural yarn, because it smells like a zoo. I usually used a neutral eucalyptus wool soap, but I guess I will buy some with what's it called, eucalyptus or something, citrus or something, because maybe this is too harsh for the for the for the senses. It is really natural. Sorry. My husband, when he saw it and smelled it, he said, "Oh boy, it's like being in the zoo." But it's these sheep. It is, so it's good. Okay. So Viking, it's yeah. What do I think about this yarn? I actually like it very much. It's very light, so it's a light sweater, even though it's a ribbed one. And yeah, it's 20 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters, and it's 100% Highland wool. So I guess I mentioned in the last episode, or even so I would say it again, that these Highland wools, they seem very warm, whether or not it's llamas or alpacas, and also very soft. So yeah, I'm fond of this. I have actually, it took only very few bullet skeins. I learned this is from episode, yeah, I'll note it down, where I went through how, depending on how you wind up your yarn, what's it called. And let's see again which sweater is the best. This sweater can definitely be good when it's both stormy and rainy, because it's water repellent and definitely a tight fabric, and yeah, wind resistant, I would say. So let's hope that the personnel at the forced kindergarten will know which sweater to put on in which weather, so it doesn't take instructions. No, I'm just joking. I don't know why I'm feeling in the teasing mood today. Okay. Yeah. Let's move on to the whips. Let's start with this seaman sweater design. I have combined the Coco Chanel expression of the stripes, and then from the Danish seaman sweater, these, I don't know if you call them bubbles or this structure. It's made, you knit 4 rows below or 5 rows below, and then catch the stitches on top of it to make this one. But I guess I won't go into the depths of this one before I have come further, or hopefully finalize this one until the next video, because I haven't decided what to do here. Drop shoulders, fitted sleeve, or what I will do, or raglan. I haven't decided yet, so let's talk about it in the next episode. Okay, the other whip you've seen more times, so I won't show it so much, but this is the champagne cardigan by PetiteKnit. But the funny thing or good thing about it this time is that I found some nice buttons, because I've been wondering which buttons to use for this one, wooden or marbled, or yeah, what to do with this cardigan. And then I found at the fair Bunger, I don't know actually how it's pronounced, ceramics, and they make these very nice buttons. Let me show you one. Yeah, don't you think it will fit nicely? I think it looks very nice with this one. And it only takes 4 buttons, so these are, I guess, 24, 25 millimeters in diameter. So yeah, she had, I guess I have a picture of her stand at the festival with a lot of nice ceramics. She had mugs and so on. So moving on to the yarn, I can show you one of the mugs I got. And it says here, I don't have too much yarn. I'm just behind schedule making my projects. And I thought this was a very funny one because I have a lot of yarn and I like to have something in my stash to pick from when I get an idea. So I guess I have enough for 70 sweaters. That's what my husband says. It is quite large, but there's also a good turnaround of the yarn, I would say. So I like it, and I heard at the festival that I'm definitely not the only one stashing up and liking to have yarn to look at and choose from when you have a good idea, or an idea hopefully becoming good. I have been searching and exploring for non-superwashed wool, and now I have knitted with more of them, and I found yet another one called Natura from Hjertegarn. It is, yep, a Danish brand. So it is 100% merino wool, as you can see here, and it can actually be washed on the wool program on the washing machine, even though it's not superwashed. So what is superwashed actually? The short version is that in order for the yarn to be able to be washed in the washing machine, you treat it with chemicals and coat it with plastic. That's the short version. But I guess in another episode we will dig more into superwash yarns and how come I look for these yarns. So now I have more brands. So I shortly mentioned the double Sunday or Sunday from PetiteKnit, the Viking Trend Merino I also use for the seaman sweater, and this new base from Props, the Daisy. And I haven't made anything yet, or no actual plans. So what do you say? Do you have a very nice design for a sweater for a boy of 2.5 years or 3 to 4 years old? Then please leave me a comment or send me a link, because I would love to have new ideas to make a nice sweater in merino wool. And this one is 4mm needles, so US 6, and it's 21 stitches per 4 inches or 10 centimeters. So nice ideas for boy or toddler sweaters would be welcomed. Yeah, and you know, when I then was walking around at the fair, suddenly a very nice yarn caught my eyes, because I've been looking for a yarn kind of variegating to be used for my swag sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I've had this pattern in my storage for some time now, but I haven't really found the yarn that I would like to use because of a variegating yarn and a unicolor yarn. And then I found this one. Wow, what do you think? There are so many different colors in this one, so depending on which yarn you use as a base color, it will have different looks. And this is Sauberwiese Wolle, a German brand, And yeah, it is 100% wool and fine merino superwash wool. So again, I bought it, even though I tried to avoid this process to the wool. But yeah, I simply couldn't leave it be on the shelf because it is, I think, wonderful. So you can pair it with brown or a blue, or even it's very bright blue, some of them, or you can just take a natural white, or this is called fog. So there are many possibilities. Actually, if you know where to find merino wool in speckled yarn or in variegating yarn, please let me know. The ones I see is superwashed, so non-superwashed variegating yarns is rare to find, at least in Denmark. So if you have seen it somewhere, please let me know and I will check it out. 1 second. It was here. Yeah, I'm back. I simply couldn't leave without this one. It's a lot of red colors. So again, depending on the color you choose to go along with it, a white one or a very dairy red one or so on, you will get a different look. There's even green inside this one. So I very much look forward to this one, and they were so nice at the fair. You can see a picture here of the stand. So nice and helping people. Das muss ich probieren. Isn't it that how it's said in German? Das muss ich probieren. Okay. So now for the last yarn again. I bought it on a superwash yarn. What happens to me? But wow, this is La Mana Merida. I haven't seen it before, so let's have a look. It's it says here 50% sure wool lane and 25% silk and 25% polyamide, and this is the sock yarn. And I came across this again, wonderful woman, an entrepreneur making her own company, designing socks, and her sock designs are just gorgeous. I must admit that I haven't made many socks. I made the cozy socks and the slippers you saw in the last episode, and I guess I made some woolen, very thick socks for my grandson, one pair only. So I have practically no experience in socks, but as you see on this picture, I simply thought her design was very clever, and she makes the 2 feet different to, yeah, you know, your feet are not the same, and they are curved in the toe. And let me just see if I can find her. So this sock is called forresten in Danish, for the rest. So this is for the stash yarn you have, your sock stash yarn. And yeah, there are so many nice colors. So it's this purple one, this yellow, we call it ochre. This is what should you call it? Marzipan, and kind of grayish. Is there more? Yeah, and the brown one. So I bought all these colors for this sock, and as I bought 2 of the basic color, the white one, she told me I would have enough for 3 pairs of socks. So yeah, I look forward to making those. They are simply gorgeous. And as you can see on the picture, there are many other designs of her. and she's called Jytte Pallisgaard. She also had a lecture on her socks at the festival, which I attended. She's a colorful woman and a clever woman and such nice designs. So I salute her, and I look forward to showing you the final socks. I met more entrepreneurial women at the workshop and at the festival, but we will see those in the next episode. But just to make a cliffhanger or a teaser, or what do you call it? I met a woman from, it's called Mama Garn and Wool, and it was a workshop, and it was understand your fiber, know your fiber. And we knitted different samples and learned about the purposes of the yarn and what to expect and so on. A lot of tips and tricks, and we will talk about this in the next episode, along with tips and tricks from another workshop with color work and tips and tricks how to choose colors for your color work. We've reached the end of the episode now. I hope you enjoyed it, hearing about my experiences from the Fanø Festival. If you did, then stay tuned for the next episode, where we will look at the other half of all my experiences. So, cheers from Fanø. Robin is calling. Hi, this was all in this episode. Hi. This was all in today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had some inspiration and would enjoy to look at the second half of my experience from the Fanø Festival. You can see Robin here. He's brushing his teeth. Oh, and he loves the toothpaste. Yeah. Bye bye. See you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.